This is massive. The New York Yankees have just been named the favorites for a star first baseman where they would be pulling off a robbery that is absolutely huge for this team. And it's all amidst a bunch of free agency and trade rumors as well, with the Yankees navigating a very difficult situation that also involves superstar Aaron Judge. There's a lot of layers to this situation, and we are going to break down all of it, discuss the realism of this situation that we're looking at, how the fit is with the Yankees, what this would mean if the Yankees pulled this off, and everything surrounding it. And we're going to jump right into things as always, guys. But real quick, if you are part of that 75% that's not subscribed to Yankees Digest, this is the place to be all year long with Yankees news. Whether we're in the regular season, whether we're in the playoffs, whether we're in the Yankees offseason, we have videos every single day covering the New York Yankees. And now, with it being the offseason, there is so much going on with the Yankees as they try to retool this roster. The Yankees don't rebuild, they reload, and they fully intend on reloading for Aaron Judge's age 35 season so they could try to get the man a ring at some point. But diving right into things, it's obvious the Yankees are going to have to make some big moves in this free agency period. Now, the pitching looks pretty good, and on top of that, there's some stability in the outfield between some young guys, and also the Yankees trying to bring back Cody Bellinger and the whole Aaron Judge situation. And they do have young talent around the team with Jasson Dominguez and Ben Rice, but there is some positions of questioning. Shortstop is one of them. Third base is kind of one of them if the Yankees don't want to stick with Ryan McMahon, who struggled to make contact and really just struggled to hit with the Yankees whatsoever, but is a good fielder. And then, of course, one of the bigger questions as well about what exactly the future of the position at first base is does loom around the Yankees. Because, yes, Ben Rice is there. Ben Rice is able to play first base. Is he the world's greatest fielding first baseman? Not at all. Can he learn how to do that if he's a catcher? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he can. However, there is the world where the Yankees do want Ben Rice to be their catcher going forwards. Get the second best hitting catcher in baseball, at least in regards to power hitting, but really just in general, just behind Raleigh. And on top of that, then the Yankees would have to decide what their long-term plan is for first base. Would it involve Aaron Judge if his elbow is not healthy? That's possible, but also they have been named the favorites recently in a new report from Bleacher Report in regards to none other than New York Mets star Pete Alonso. Now, Alonso obviously is hitting free agency for the second year in a row after he opted out of his deal with the New York Mets. Alonso was great with the Mets last year, having his best season, and the Yankees' projected first base position being Ben Rice and TJ Rumfield does mean that they will at least look at Pete Alonso as they decide if Ben Rice is a full-time first baseman, and Rumfield, obviously being in just the minor leagues, still is going to hold a whole thing, or just hold a whole kind of question mark over a contending team. But Kerry Miller broke this down, saying the biggest question here isn't the roster fit or the willingness of the team to make the investment. It's whether Alonso would be willing to do this to Mets fans. It wouldn't be quite as much of a Benedict Arnold situation as if he signed with the Braves or the Phillies. However, with the expectation of Dwight Gooden going from the Mets in 1994 to the Yankees in 1996, with a year off in between for a failed drug test, examples of key New York Mets free agents signing with the Yankees have been basically non-existent. Now, the Yankees do kind of owe the Mets one, though, for outbidding them on Juan Soto this past winter, and a few years after hoping for the best and not getting a whole lot out of late career Anthony Rizzo and Paul Goldschmidt, the Yankees could be looking to make a long-term investment at first base for the first time since signing Mark Teixeira in 2009. Well, that's very true, and Pete Alonso, he wants a lot. He wants around 7 years on his contract, so he's asking for a lot. For a guy right now who can field the ball very well and can't run the bases, the Yankees would be paying 7 years for Alonso's bat. The bat that has a .272 batting average last season, 38 home runs, an .871 OPS, and an OPS plus a 144. Look, in the now, the contract would be good. The question is, does this solve the Yankees' contact hitting? No, not at all. The Yankees will have another good power hitter who can't run the bases well on the team while still looking for a leadoff hitter that they just don't have. Now, yeah, having Bellinger, having Jasson Dominguez, having Jazz Chisholm, it's not like the team would be unable to run the bases, but it wouldn't be great base running. It would be a pure power lineup once again, and the Yankees have not won off those pure power lineups in the recent years. They have to build a more complete team. This is not building a complete team by signing Pete Alonso. It's going out there and, yes, getting a great player who obviously would be exciting to get because he's a great player, but how much does it really solve everything for the Yankees when in reality the better bet would be to go and get a contact hitting first baseman like a Josh Naylor? I understand Alonso's average was a 272 last season, but on his career he's a 253 batting average type of guy, and he really is a power hitter more than anything else. Now again, he does make good contact. I'm not saying he doesn't, but he can't run the bases very well. Josh Naylor is a better base runner, even though he doesn't look like he would be. And on top of that, the Yankees could also just keep Ben Rice, who at the same time is a very good base runner and was just great with the Yankees last year. Now, yeah, the numbers were a little bit worse than Alonso's. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Ben Rice is better than Pete Alonso. He wasn't. Pete Alonso was definitely better than Ben Rice last season. Now, Alonso had more at-bats, but still when you look at all the numbers, Alonso's at-bats, they led to more success. So Alonso's a better player than Ben Rice, but Ben Rice is a whole lot cheaper, very young, and has a great future with the Yankees right now. The man has had 26 home runs last year, a 255 batting average, an 836 OPS, and runs the bases better than Alonso does, and definitely has a higher potential to be a good fielder. Now, again, I'm not saying the numbers are as good, but I do believe they will get to that point if Ben Rice keeps this trajectory up. On top of that, the Yankees do then get to spend basically no money at first base for a very long time and also cover other positions that they need more, like the left side of that infield where you're looking at shortstop, where you're looking at third base and kind of deciding what is the long-term future here. When you consider Bellinger's a free agent, you have to decide what exactly you want to do there, and understanding that Trent Grisham is almost certainly going to be leaving the Yankees. All of this starts to add up to a situation where we really have to understand that paying a first baseman could definitely be a risky move. Now, again, part of this is also because of Aaron Judge, who did deal with that elbow situation. As he was asked after the Yankees lost to the Blue Jays, Judge on his elbow said, we'll definitely do some work on it and get it right. It was asked if that means surgery, and he said, I'm not a doctor. I don't know. So Aaron Judge going out there and sort of just said, basically not being committal about his future in the outfield. And Sports Illustrated mentioned, back in July, Judge suffered a right flexor strain to his elbow, which impeded his ability to throw from the outfield and limited him to a designated hitter role where Giancarlo Stanton filled out right field. When the injury news first broke, fans worried that the Yankees wouldn't stand a chance without Judge, while experts like Jeff Passan speculated about the ultimate fate of Judge's arm under injury. Passan specifically seemed to think that injuries like Judge's were more likely to escalate into UCL tears if not taken care of. Judge eventually recovered enough to return to the field, but when asked about his recovery to the season-ending loss to the Toronto Blue Jays, he gave that ambiguous answer on the subject of surgery, which obviously has Yankee fans very concerned, as it should. And on top of that, Ben Rice has also been about the most popular Yankee in trade talks, according to John Heyman, who continued by saying teams have been asking about him regularly, but the Yankees are understandably extremely reluctant to deal him. Now, if the Yankees were to deal Ben Rice, it would be for a star player. That's the thing. They're not acquiring prospects here. They would be dealing Ben Rice for a star player in any sort of deal. We've recently talked about this on the last video that came out, but with this whole situation, it would also mean if they're dealing Ben Rice, like let's say they trade Ben Rice and go out there and get some sort of third baseman or shortstop instead. That's what they end up doing. I'm not saying I want that to happen. I'm just saying hypothetical situation. If the Yankees want to keep spending money and they get a guy who's a contact hitter and good base runner, then yeah, maybe it does make sense to sign Pete Alonso because you're going to be missing some of the power that Ben Rice left you with. If that's a move that you're willing to do, all of a sudden that makes sense. But unless the Yankees don't have Ben Rice and it's confirmed that Aaron Judge won't have to play first base, there's no real reason to fully go guns a-blazing for Pete Alonso. It would be exciting. It would be funny to do to Mets fans because it would really upset them. It would probably upset them more than it upsetted us about Soto going to the Mets. But at the end of the day, I just don't see it as a real possibility. However, some do, and that's also important to note. I mean, we saw MLB tonight discussing Alonso's free agency, and we see the quote here. Pete Alonso would look good in a Yankee uniform playing first base, hitting 35 home runs and knocking in over 100 runs. And yeah, again, it'd be nice, but at the same time, I believe in Ben Rice to do that as well. Guys, what do you think? Should the Yankees have interest in Pete Alonso or should they look elsewhere? I'm firmly on the idea that the Yankees should just look towards contact hitting and base running. If you're going to make a trade, look towards a Steven Kwan, someone like that. If you're going to trade Ben Rice, I really would hope it's in some sort of deal for Paul Skeens. I'm not saying it's a sure thing. I don't think that the Pirates are going to trade Paul Skeens this year, but Or maybe Tarek Skubal, who feels a lot more likely in this situation to get moved because the Tigers are probably not going to be paying him next year, so that would make more sense. But we're going to see what happens. We'll talk about this all throughout free agency. We've got a bunch of great news coming out every single day that you don't want to miss out on. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day. Go Yankees.